Welcome back to RGR Football. I'm Ryan. This is me going rogue, and today we are going to look at a quick film analysis because this play actually contributes a lot to how they can move forward and get some of this running game going that we've been talking about for quite a long while. And I'm going to break it down for you. It's got a lot of components that we've been talking about for quite a long time. Two things here. If you are new to the channel, make sure you like and sub and hit the bell notification now so you don't miss anything. Even though it's a holiday week, we are putting stuff out for you. Today, I'm going to break down this pitch option game that the Chiefs ran against the Saints, something that I think we're going to see more of. And this is for a couple of reasons. Now, if you missed yesterday's film from Dan, make sure you go check that out, as well as you get the stats on Tuesdays. We have live streams for breakdowns post-game, and on Monday nights for the Q&A for you guys. We'll have game plan and tailgate with the Kingdom Corner, so don't miss any of that, especially if you're new here. But it comes down to this. If you've been on this channel for a while, you've heard me talk about you have to be able to get outside the numbers, especially with this offensive line. Now, credit to the offensive line that was out there against the Saints, because the jumbling, I actually think, improved the play of what we saw in weeks prior. There isn't the immediacy that you would think that. And quite frankly, it was pretty shocking for me for Wisniewski to be the guy that plays on the right-hand side. Good for him for being adaptive. He has not done that much in his career. Very low snap count on the right-hand side. And it's more of a task than you might imagine for an offensive lineman to switch sides. That was certainly part of it. And it's possible that that change actually elevated the line overall as well. But this play in particular is something that we want to take a closer look at because of the way that they were able to get these things done and what it means for them going forward. There are a number of options here, and it incorporates several things that I've been talking about for a while, and maybe this is the best way to illustrate them by something that actually happened rather than theorizing. And so we will start here breaking down, and there are some important parts to this. One, this is a spread out 4 wide receiver set. Obviously, one of them is Travis Kelce, and that does actually play a very big factor. But single back 5 line group. So you're not getting the bulk. And so what that has done to them is, again, a little bit of a conundrum. Not sure why the Saints chose to do this. But in the red zone, they went single high here. And you can see with one safety, he's drifting towards the Tyreek Hill side. He's got his hips opened up, looking this. Now, Tyreek's trying to signal here a little bit. I don't know if that's showmanship or there was actually some kind of read that he was trying to get on. But the key is, because they're in 4, what they have is a nickel set, single high with DB, 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 DB across all of them with just 2 linebackers. And that's why this works in terms of a scheme. We'll show you the specifics here in a second about what blocks made the difference and how everything moves together. And there's a lot to show you here because there are 2 important things that go into how you run this play, not just what the play is. But certainly, having them in a nickel is what you wanted. What that does is make this defensive end responsible for outside contain, whether it's this back or it's Patrick, because they know that Patrick can get outside the pocket. What's really interesting is they chose to run this to the short side of the field. They're lined up on this hash, so they have less room to maneuver over here than they would have had they run it the other way. They would have had to flip the whole formation because you really do want Travis Kelce on this side. And what we're going to see is a bit of motion. That's going to help let you know this is the confirmation. Hey, we're going to get man. They came inside, and Patrick's watching these linebackers because the linebackers are the key here. Travis Kelce isn't going to try to block this end. That's a key part of it. And right here, we are just at the snap as they start to lean. And you can see that because of the outside contain, he's well outside Eric Fisher here. That's okay, because this is the guy they're going to option to the short side with the back. The fact that Bell's lined up here tells you which way they have to go. This linebacker's already inching down over here, and you can see the man-on-man. This is opened up in a zone turn here, and this guy's thinking about that as well. But he's got Travis Kelce, so he doesn't know if he has to come downhill or if he has to turn and run with him to the corner. You never know, so that's a key. But as the play starts, Travis doesn't even engage, and that's all right. He's trying to get a free release. This tells you if you are the defensive back, that, hey, he's going to run this route and he's going to come either down at me or most likely, if this is a play route, he wants to belly back inside here and try to take this DB with him. But that's not what they're doing. Travis's block is actually one of the big keys here. And as we roll forward, this defensive end is, really keeping with his goal in that he has to maintain outside leverage. And he's doing that. He's charging towards Lev Bell, who I think in this case is actually the least scary of the options for him. And now he realizes that he's got the quarterback cutting up because, again, of the way they were aligned. You go back here, and because there's this natural gap here between in the B gap between the guard and tackle, because he has outside contain and actually comes upfield, it leaves a large hole here. It's about this linebacker and how he fills and how you take care of that. I'll show you that in the other view here in just a second. And as they roll forward, well, that didn't skip very well, but Patrick's come underneath. He's beaten this defensive end. Kelsey's here, ready to block. This DB thought he was going to try and run a route, and that's the key. As he just settles down, he's ready to take him whichever way he has to go, which again, it allows the backs, whether it's, at this point, Travis doesn't know whether Patrick has it or Lev has it. And either way, it allows the backs to read the situation. We have another block coming here, and that's to the key. And here's the interesting thing. This was a prescribed, what I call a depth pitch, because this isn't the classic where the option goes laterally. Again, because it's to the short side of the field, you needed to get depth. But Patrick isn't being confronted here. He doesn't have to make this pitch. He could tuck it and just take the next 5 yards or so, get down to the 4 and call it a day. But because of the way it was set up and the fact that he knows he has Kels out here blocking for him, he knows at this point that they have a wall getting it out there. This is the play design, and this is part of what happens between Patrick and Andy Reid. And that's the key to it, is understanding what your defense has to do against you when you give them this. Now, again, here's the defensive end. You can tell by his stance that he has contained and he's not rushing hard. You can see the difference over here where he's coming downhill. It's about this guy right here. This is the guy that has the ability, because of the setup of this play, to make the difference. And watch what let's start with Wisniewski, but you can watch them both. I'm going to slow this down for you guys because this is the key. You've heard me talk about the option because it is a viable play, because of this decision-making, and because of the athletes the Chiefs has. The other important thing that you've heard me talk about is running counter. Well, this is both. Watch Wiz's foot here as he takes off, comes up, calls it out, is ready for the motion. As Kels comes down inside, he actually came in a little too far, I think. But this is selling, hey, I'm going to block this end. And as they get off the ball, you see that? Right here, Wiz has taken a step to the inside, much like the rest of the line, and so has Bell. Now, Bell was a bit of a short step, to tell you the truth. But watch it again. We'll try to make it a little bit faster here. And here it comes. Step. That is the key to this linebacker. Now, the linebacker's reading the back through this particular guard. That's his assignment at this point. He's heads up here. Watch Lev's foot now. Bam. That is a counter step, folks, from both the lineman and the running back. And that's how you can tell that the linebacker everything that he's seeing is telling him that it's an inside run. Bam. And that's why he leans to the inside. This is because of that foot action. You see that everybody's actually manned up in here on the defensive line. They've got contained with the guy outside here. And now with this linebacker leaning and the athleticism of Patrick Mahomes and Lev Bell, they have clear sailing. The question now becomes, does this guy actually come up and take Lev away where Patrick has to tuck it and go up the gap right here? Or does this guy settle down and come back down on the quarterback and allow the smaller outside guys to try to take on the running back? But you can see here, this is the gap that I was talking about in the other angle. This is going to be natural out of the nickel because of the way that you can see the defensive end line up. They got what they needed. They got what they wanted, and they knew what they were doing on this play. But again, normally an option is going to go this way, where you make the end here that is unblocked, make that decision point roughly along the line of scrimmage. But because he's got the outside contain and this huge gap here with the linebacker already behind the flow, You can see he's just planting his foot and trying to come back the other way, and Patrick's already ready to turn it downhill. This is a designed downhill pitch. It's not the old option. And I think that this is something they're going to have plenty of opportunity to do. As he moves forward, then tries to compensate, and Patrick's already home. Like I said earlier, with this block, Patrick actually has a gap here where I think he could get down to the 4, maybe even the 3-yard line if he wants to. And Kels is eyeing in. Now the DBs have realized it. And they're watching Patrick, not paying attention to Kelsey and the wide receiver coming down to make their blocks. And so when we get here, now Patrick still uncontested at this point. He could have taken this, but he has this block and he has this block. This is Sammy, I believe. And it's a designed pitch. This is the way it was supposed to go because he's pitching it without confrontation. And bam, Lev gets the ball and has an easy run into the end zone. Now, there are not many pitches that are meant to go this easily, but they certainly do. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to slow it down a lot right here just so you can see all the little steps. Thanks for watching this one. Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you know when the next thing comes up. But this is a play that I think the Chiefs can build on because of the way that it worked. The orchestration here between these 3 players gives everything that they need against a standard nickel. Whether it's a big nickel or a small, doesn't really matter. It's about the alignment that allows them to do this. This is credit to Wiz being a veteran and Lev being a veteran and Patrick being just creative as all get out. I'd like to know where this play originated, but that's a story for another day. So thank you. We will have more for you coming up. Get ready for the next ball game. Thanks for watching today, and we'll check you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.